Hello, action light workers. How are you? Today I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. And I think I may have told this story before, but it doesn't matter because stories are really important. And it's about a priest and a monster. So I'll see you on the other side. So there's this priest, and he's trying to work on the Sunday sermon. It's a Saturday. He's trying to get his sermon right. And as he's sitting there working, some children decide to play football outside of the window, and they're shouting and screaming and distracting him terribly. And he's really not happy. So he sits and says to himself, come on, what are you going to do? Let's be intelligent about this. What can I do to stop these boys from playing outside? So he had this idea. So he hung out of the window and he shouted, hey boys, come here. Have you heard the news? And the boy said, no, what news? He said, well, down by the river, there's a monster that's there and it's eating all of the sheep and it's going wild down by the water. You need to go and see it. It's a right spectacle. And so the boys went, what? And they all ran off down toward the river. And the priest closed his window and chuckled to himself and thought, yeah, I've still got it, I still know how to manage these situations. So he's sitting working, and about 10 minutes later, he hears a massive commotion outside of his window. And when he looks, he sees that the whole village is running down to the river. And he opens the window and he shouts out, what's going on? And one of the villagers says, haven't you heard? Down by the river, there's a monster that's eating all of the sheep. It's absolutely going wild. We're going to go run down to see it. And the priest looked at them and thought, Anyway, he grabbed his coat and he went out and he started running down to the river with them. And as he ran, he thought to himself, look, I know I made this up myself, but who's to say that isn't true? And I think that's where we are at the moment in many, many ways. That we have been so indoctrinated. And I'm not just talking about the people who are asleep. I'm talking about the people who are awake. I'll give you an example. For as long as I can remember, my parents included, about this time of year, everyone gets the flu, okay? Or a cold. It's cold and flu season. It's not something that you hear that much now, is it? Cold and flu season. However, it was mentioned every year as we're coming into cold and flu season. Prepare yourself, get your jibby jab, cold and flu, okay? And of course that disappeared. You know that here in Spain, in 2017, 50,000 people were reported to have a flu. And of that, I think it was something like 6,000 died. Okay? And then in 2020, 5 cases of flu. No deaths. 5 cases of flu. So it went from 50,000 to 5. And it went from 6,000 deaths, I think it was 6,000, it might be 3,000, I can't recall, down to none. So where did all of them go to? Well, of course, we know where they went to. They went into other statistics. But what I just want to remind you is that for as long as we can remember, we've had colds and flus, and they are perfectly normal. There's nothing to be embarrassed about getting flu or a cold. It doesn't say anything about who you are. It doesn't say anything about what you are. You have my full permission. If your body feels that it's time for a cleanse, and that's basically what colds and flus are, they are to cleanse you. It's your body's way of cleaning out everything. That's why we have runny noses and sometimes diarrhea and all kinds of sweating. It's a cleanse, okay? And so it's okay. They've given them names. The worst thing that they could do, or the best thing for them, is to put names on them. You know that they do that with storms, don't they? Why? Because they know that if you give it a name, you personalize it. If you personalize it, you make it more real. It's creation. And they have made these cold and flus real. They've given them life. They've given them the names, the chromion and the chrom delta. I'm saying them backwards, yeah, just so that I don't get picked up. But they're saying now, the Rona flu. I mean, what's that about? What is that about? So, just because you get flu, you don't need to worry, okay? Just go to bed. Take something that helps you. There are tons and tons and tons of things that help you. And don't assume the worst. Don't think that you've been poisoned by, the deep state. It could well just be a flu or a cold, okay? And so, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later on in the week. Bye-bye. I love you all.